Okay, thank you. So today we are doing something very familiar, something we are familiar with, Gmail. Everybody has an account for sure. So we just want to look at a few tips and tricks that can boost your productivity when you're using your Gmail account. So I will present my screen and then we go through just a few things. Towards the end, Fred will also come in and present something also. So let me share my screen. I hope you can see my screen now. So I will just use my inbox for a number of things. So everybody already has a Gmail account. I'm sure of that. At least if you manage to join this meet, it means you have a Gmail account. So I will not go into the nitty-gritties of creating the account and setting things. The only thing I will say maybe is how you set a strong password. It's very, very important to have a strong password for your email account because it has a lot of information that can be abused if it lands in the wrong hands. So you can set a strong email account password by ensuring that it has a capital letter, it has a number, it has a small letter, it has the marks, exclamation mark or the question mark, those ones, the punctuation marks, and even other combination of keys that you may have on the keyboard that I haven't mentioned. So a strong password should have all those, but it shouldn't be something that you will also forget sooner or later. So it should be something that you can easily remember also. So this is how my Gmail account looks like, just the normal one that I have. And there are several features. Number one, when somebody sends you an email, Gmail already decides whether it's going to go into your inbox or it's going to go into the social category or updates or forum, etc., or promotions. For example, in my social category, if I just click on the social category, this is what I have. So in the social category, I have quite a number of emails and I can scan through them and do a number of things with them. The red dot over here in this area, the red dot means those are areas where there are emails that I haven't looked at or it's just calling my attention to it. So I am in the social category right now. I can go to updates. These emails were decided upon, that they should just go to the updates area of my Gmail account. So they are there. Then there's another category where an email might be thrown into by Gmail when it comes in, and this is forum. Forum, if I just click on my forum, you will see, you will see that I also have some email there. This one, forum. So if I click on forum here, it will replace the updates that I had opened. And then promotions. Promotions tend to be many, just like the social category. So this is my forum category. You can see it's from Google for Education Teacher Center and an introduction to artificial intelligence with that and that. So the Gmail artificial intelligence decides where to send an email that comes in. Now for promotions, the emails can be very many, just like in the social category. You can see these ones here: virtual event, Cisco, networking, innovation for IT executives. So Pinterest, yeah, Harvard Business School, question mark, Wish, LinkedIn, webinar at Harvard, TED Ed team also was thrown into the social category. So usually, for your own sanity, that is very good. But then when the emails come, for example, for the social category, what I tend to do is to select them all. And then now I scan through to see any important one that calls my attention, like this one, the TED Ed team. I will untick it. And then I go on again to see whether there is any other that is calling my attention. I untick it. Then I can go down because there are very many. I can see this other one. I would like to look at it. So I will untick it. Uber Eats is also there telling me I can receive KFC from wherever. So once I am done with scanning these ones and seeing whether there is anything important for me, I can just delete all of them because they can really be many and a nuisance on your account. So I will delete all the rest. The ones that I have unticked will actually be left there for me. Okay, now there are other features that you may use to organize your account. So we have seen that once you receive an email from somewhere, Gmail's artificial intelligence will either throw it into social, updates, forum, promotion. I don't have a finance folder. It can also create one for you for finances, purchases, trips, low priority emails if you mark them as such. And there are two other folders that are important, the spam and the spam account, the spam folder and the trash folder. So trash is where your deleted emails will go before you empty it. And then spam, most likely spam will hold emails that you're receiving for the first time from someone. So if I don't have you in my email account, if you sent me in my email contacts, that is, if you sent me an email, it might find its way to the spam, to the spam folder. So sometimes it is very good to actually go through your spam folder because it may have important emails that were put there because the email address of the person sending it to you is not in your inbox or it's not a trusted email, for example. So it's good to come to this folder and just go through all these and see whether there is anything important before you delete them, just like I have done with the promotions account. So I can come here and, there is something from a lonely lady. This is where all manner of things will come, There's somebody who is selling slimming corsets. There's somebody who, I love giving and receiving, casual hookups. Those are unnecessary things. But sometimes a very important email can find its way here. So it's very, very important to come and go through them before you select all of them and you decide whether you want to delete them forever. If you delete forever, it will not even go to your trash. It disappears completely, So you can choose to delete forever. Okay, so those are the folders that are available. Now, you can create other folders for yourself, and we shall see how to do that just in a short while. Now, while at your inbox, usually there are default settings that have been put there by Google. And to go to your settings, you come to this wheel over here. When you click there, it will take you to settings. And then under settings, there are a number of things you can set, including your signature, including whether you want to use labels or not. I'll tell you what labels are also shortly to organize your Gmail account generally. So, well, my settings are taking a while to load. So I will switch to another place altogether. I'm in the category of promotions here. So let me go back to my inbox and see whether this one will bring the settings a little faster. I'm just switching between tabs, yeah, for the same email account. Okay. Okay. Well, as settings come on, you can actually search for emails. You can search for specific emails over here and give the criteria. Give the criteria that you're going to, to search with. I think I shouldn't have too many open, so I will close one so that I make it a little faster. I think it will be better. Yeah, it's definitely better. The computer is getting confused. So you can search for email, for example, from Fred Sagwe, and just search. Let's see what that brings. So it's loading, and you can see it hides all the other emails and leaves me with the emails that have come from this particular address, fredsagwe 4@gmail.com. So all these emails I have received from Fred about one thing or the other. So because I have put a search criteria there, only Fred and maybe the other the ones that come with a story, other people have replied to it, will be left here. And that way, if I was looking for something that I was sent to by Fred, I will be able to quickly pick it. I can change the search criteria. Once I close that, it should bring me back to my usual inbox, yeah? So that I put another search criteria. So I can search for emails that are, for example, from, let's say, LinkedIn, just that. If I search, it will leave me with emails that are from the LinkedIn address, you see, and then I will be able to quickly look for something that came for me from LinkedIn. Okay, so let me see settings now. Settings are very, very important. There are default settings that is, if you don't put any other settings, the default settings take precedence. They are the ones that remain in place. Okay. Yeah, so finally it's here. So you can see all settings. That is the best place to go. But there are also some, how do I put it, priority settings, like the density, whether you want your view to be compact, comfortable, or default. I have chosen the comfortable one. And then the theme can keep changing. I have chosen where I have a lot of maroon on my screen. And inbox type, you can choose the inbox type that you want. Yeah, you can have the important emails first, or the unread mail first, or starred mails first, or priority inbox first, or you can customize your own. Then the reading pane, you can decide how you want your reading pane to look like. And then this conversation mode down here, conversation view, has to do with, the email that you write, it's replied to, you reply, and it's replied to, all that train is maintained within the email. It actually becomes easier for you to follow through with some important emails that you'd like. What I want us to do is to go to all settings, yeah? Because it is in all settings where you can really set very many things, including your signature, including whether you want to do labels or not, etc. So this is the page. You have general settings, you have labels, you have inbox settings, you have accounts for important things, you have filter and blocked addresses. You can filter and block addresses. You have forwarding, you have add-ons, you have chat and meet, advanced, offline, and themes. You can do so much here. So I just want us to go through very quickly to go through the general settings. So the first thing to set, of course, is language, because you will need to understand your emails, yeah? So the default will depend on the second thing here, the phone number, the default country code. So the most commonly used language there, or the official language, is the one that will be set as your default from. That is, when you're creating your email account, you have given details to Google, yeah? And so they will see that you're coming from Kenya. In fact, without indicating that, the email will not be complete. The email creation may not be done, yeah? So this Kenya here has made my default language English. And then the maximum page size, that is the number of emails I will have on a particular page before I go to the next one. The default is 50. You can set it to 25. Those will be fewer, or 100 to be more. And do send. Sometimes you click on send and then you realize, oh, I have sent the email to the wrong address, yeah? So you can lengthen this period if you're that kind of person who wants to cancel. You can put it to 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a very long time, yeah? So you can change it to 10 seconds just to give yourself a chance to be sure, yes, I have sent to the correct address. Then default reply behavior. You can set your email to reply by default, and this is going to use artificial intelligence. So the computer will read the mail and craft a possible response. But that's a bit dangerous, yeah? It's always best that you reply your email yourself, actually. Then Hoover action. This is what it's doing now. This is a Hoover action. You see what I'm doing here? When I come here, it reveals what is over there. So you can disable Hoover action, or you leave it on. Your changes have not been saved. Yeah, okay. So you're supposed to make changes and then finally come down to save your changes. So I want to go back to settings. I hope it takes me back quickly. I'm not sure what I clicked wrong there. All settings. There must be something I touched that made it go off. So settings is coming on. And once we go there and look at all the settings, we are going to start to create labels. What are labels? Labels are more folders that you can create in your email so that you organize your inbox a little better. You don't lose emails. You don't have people asking you whether you received their email and then you say, no, I didn't receive. You can organize yourself so that you don't miss out on any emails that are coming in from any direction, especially if you know that you will be receiving important emails from one end or the other. You can create a label for it and then make sure you don't miss that email. Okay, I'm still going back to settings, but as it comes on, I continue. So I'm sure you can see the star here, starred. You can star email. This is just a matter of personal preference. You can star an email either to signify that it is very important and you need to do something about it, or you can star an email to show that it's coming from an important place. Let me go back to settings here. So we had set, you see, my changes were not saved, yeah? For example, here I had changed to 100. Here I had changed to 10 seconds. I said I don't like default reply behavior because I prefer to reply to all my emails. Sometimes that artificial intelligence can actually mess you up, yeah? Especially for official emails. It's better not to choose anything there. Hover action, it is okay. I prefer to have it. Send and archive. You can send emails and, put them in the background altogether. Default style, text style. Email usually doesn't have too many fonts. It has just a few. Sans serif, serif, and we shall see this as we try to compose an email. Then you can set that here at settings. Images, always display external images. People who send you images, you can choose to display or to ask before displaying the images, yeah? That is your preference. Then dynamic email. Dynamic email enables email content when it is available. So you just hover there and the email will open. Grammar, you can choose to have grammar suggestions on or grammar suggestions off. It can be helpful. It can check your spelling, your grammar, and then correct for you. Spelling also, I prefer to have those on, especially because if you don't have them on, you're not going to be able to proofread your email. It will go whatever it is you have written. Autocorrect also, it's good to have it on. Smart compose, it's okay to have it on, but sometimes it can be annoying, yeah? Because it predicts what you want to write and more or less completes your sentence for you. But it's a good companion. Smart compose personalization. This is the use of artificial intelligence again, where the computer now learns you as a person, how you usually write your emails, yeah? And then it's personalized. The smart compose now is personalized to how you usually write your emails over time. Then experimental access. This is, it helps you to gain features that are still under development. I would rather not. So I have left it like that, but you can tick it so that whenever Google is developing something for Gmail, you're also there, in experimental stages. Then conversation view. I like this because it helps me to follow up through with a conversation that has been going on. Nudges, that is to suggestions. You can be nudged to reply to an email or to follow up on an email that has sat in your inbox for some time. Then smart reply. Smart reply shows suggestions of replies that may be available. It's very close to this one of, what did we call it? This one, default reply behavior, yeah? So smart reply, you can leave it on or put it off depending on your preference. Desktop notifications. This is how you receive you're told so-and-so has sent an email on your, or when it appears on your phone, yeah, on all the devices that you're using. And then you can star your email. You can choose the kind of star you want to use. All these are available, a blue star or a red star or maroon star. Yeah, they are available to you. Keyboard shortcuts, you can enable them. It's always best because sometimes a computer may hang and a keyboard shortcut might save you, yeah? Then button labels, yeah, they can either be icons or text, yeah? And then you can choose to have a picture. That is the picture that will display. For example, if I put my video off, that is the picture that you will see. It stays there. Then you can create contact for autocomplete, yeah? And then important signals for adverts. Then you can put your signature, yeah? You can put your signature. I have put mine. So when we go to compose an email, I will put my signature and you see what I had put here under settings, yeah? And you can create a new signature whenever you want, whenever you're tired of one, yeah? You can come there and create another one. How do you create a new signature? You can, for example, mine, I have just added my name and my level 2 certification badge. Okay. Many people will add the name. In organizations, you will have the name, and then you will have the designation, what you are in that organization, and then maybe something about the organization also, or a picture or some art that is displayed about the organization. Then vacation responses. You can, when you're on vacation and you don't want disturbances, or you have traveled, or you know you're not going to look at your email for the next 1 week, you can have a vacation response that you compose, and then you leave it there so that whenever somebody writes an email, they receive an auto reply with the particular message that you have chosen. Now, once you make changes, you must come here and save. If you don't save changes in settings, they will not be saved in anything that you're doing. So I have saved my settings, and so it reopens, it reloads, it refreshes the email account once more. Okay. Now, Gmail is connected to a number of things. There are quite a number of things that you can connect with. But let's create labels first. Let's create labels. What are labels? We have said they are like additional folders. We have seen Google is already giving you a number of folders, but you may want additional folders. For example, we are educators, and maybe you don't want to miss the email of your payslip, for example, or you don't want to miss the email of your coming from your principal. So you can create a label. I have quite a number of labels already, but if I click on this more here, I can create a label. I can create a label. Over here, you just come to create new label. Yeah, I have other labels. So I will create a new label, and I can call it payslip. Payslip, like that. It's dangerous to nest it under another label, because that way it means that it's like putting a folder within another folder. And you know, if you organize your life like that, you might never know where you put a particular folder, yeah? So it's better to just leave it as that. So you create, and once you create it, it will appear in the same place over here, to the left here, and it is here now, payslip, my payslip label that I have created. I can recolor it. I can give it a certain color, a label color. For example, this one, I can make it red so that I see my payslips whenever they come, yeah? And then there are other settings that I can do, yeah? In label list, I can show if unread, or I can hide it. In my message list, I can show or hide, and I can edit or remove the label altogether, or put a sub-label if I want to. Now, let's say this particular email here is it's about my payslip, this particular one that has come from Fred. What I will do is that I will send it to the label. I want to send it to this label, so that whenever I receive my payslips, I will just be sending them to the label. Sorry, actually I sent it to the wrong label just now. So I'll go back to my inbox, and then I can drag it. I can, there are so many things I can do with it. For example, from here, I can just drag it to, well, I'm opening it all the time. I want to drag it to my label. So maybe the best thing is to go back to inbox. and then I right click on it. I will right click on it. Yeah, if I right click on it, yeah, it will bring all this, and I can move it to my label that I just created called payslip. And if I move it, it actually leaves the inbox, yeah? If I had another payslip here, maybe I can also move it. Sorry, it has opened instead. Let me go back to inbox. Let's say this was my second payslip. I will click on it, then right click on it and send it to my payslip. So it stops appearing on my inbox and goes to my payslip here. Now, if I go to the payslip, label, I should find those ones in there. If I come to this payslip label, I should find the emails that I sent there, and you can see on my inbox, they will be labeled as payslip. So these are the two that I have sent to my label called payslip. And if I go to my inbox, anything that fits that criteria now, let's say my next payslip comes, it will be labeled like this, it will have this label here, payslip. So I can easily recognize it in my email and I can send it to its label immediately. I have very many labels that I have created. For example, somebody like Fred sends me very many emails, and so I have a label just for the emails that come from Fred. So if I want to know something that Fred has, if I want to check on something that Fred has sent, I will click on the label, and it will draw all the mail from the ones of a long time ago to the recent ones. I will have them in this particular label. When I was doing my level 1 and level 2, I had created an EdTech team emails label, yeah, where I actually managed to group all the emails that they sent me. So here I would not miss anything on a class I'm supposed to attend. I would not miss on something important like the voucher code, the assignments. They were all here in one label. So it's a very good way of organizing your emails so that they don't get lost. You will not have people asking you whether you received their emails or not. So that is how to create labels. And then we can move on to something else. Something like these accompaniments over here to the right. So your email account is connected to your calendar. So for example, if I click here, I will see my calendar for today, and this calendar will show me all the events that were scheduled and were put on the calendar. For example, this is today, and you can see we are right in the middle of our training here. It was in my calendar, Gmail tips and tricks to boost productivity. So if I want to see the whole month, I just click here. And if I want to open my calendar in a new tab up there and organize it further, I can click on this and it will open the calendar will open in a new tab, looking like this now. This is where I went to calendar in order to join the meeting. So I can look at my yesterday's calendar and all the things I managed to do. I can go to tomorrow's calendar, and as usual, I can schedule an event, and it will be right there. It will be, if I save this event, it will be there in my email just on the side over there, yeah? So I can close the calendar. Where was I? I was looking at these accompaniments here. Okay, so that is calendar. You can go off your email, go to calendar, come back. Now, if I look at my tomorrow, I will have that event that I just created. It's there already. So I can synchronize. Maybe I'm reading something and I want to put it on the calendar. I just throw it in there immediately for personal organization. Then there's another one called this one, Keep. Now, Keep is like a notebook. Yeah, it's like a notebook. Let's say you're reading your emails. You haven't quite finished reading your email, but then an idea comes to your mind. Maybe you have remembered you need to revise for your exam. Yeah, you can just come to Keep over here and then you take a note. I need to revise for my exam. And then once you revise for your exam, you just click on done. So to add a note, I just take a note and I say I need to revise for my exam, like that. And then I continue. Then remember class at 2. Now it's 3:51, so that's already done. I can click on done. If I click on done, that disappears, yeah? Yeah? Or I can remove it. I can delete it because it's a past event now. Revise for exams, yeah? Is the next, the next immediate thing. You can also put images there to save them. Maybe you have got an image from your email, you can throw it there and then you save it. But once you're done, again, remember to say done, like that, and then that leaves your Keeps. Then there is another accompaniment, this one, tasks. Now, you can actually make something, you can make your email a task. Let's say, for example, you need to reply to this particular email here. What you will do is you click on it, and then if you right click on it, you can make it a task. Here, like this. There are very many options here, this drop down menu here. I can make it a task. Where is mark as read? Add to tasks, this one. I can make it a task here. I can load it there. And then whenever I go to my tasks, I will remember, there is that email I was supposed to do XYZ about it. Yeah. It might be an assignment, it might be, something. So here it comes, yeah. So I can make it a task, I can add, I can edit the details to say maybe something like, add detail here. Reply to the email. And then I can even give it a time when I am supposed to do that task, yeah? I can make it my task and I can add time I'm supposed to do it, yeah? Maybe today I can set a time like, and remember to set a time that is ahead, otherwise you will forget to do it. I doubt it will agree, yeah? If you set a time that has already passed. So I want to do that at 6:30 p.m. and then I can repeat the task, yeah? I can say okay to that. So there are so many things that you can use to organize yourself, yeah, in your Gmail. Then there's this one also. This one I can give you as homework so that we move on to something else, yeah. Okay, now let's say you want to compose an email. So go to your Gmail and look at the last thing there, and you can add other ads on, yeah, add-ons. Okay, let's say you want to compose an email. There are quite a number of things that you can actually do that can be helpful for personal organization and to be a bit more productive. Instead of doing the same email over and over again, for example, we can see how you can do that easily. So let's say I want to send one Fred this email. If I do that, I should have the address there. And then it's important to always give your email subject. But before I go there, let me go back up here, make it a bit bigger so that you can see. And then whatever you're doing is saved as draft. You know, the beauty with Google is that everything is cloud-based. You never lose anything. So I already have a draft saved. Now, let me go back here to the people that I want to send the email to. I can put CC. CC stands for carbon copy. I can put someone as CC. Linda, maybe you give me your address. Or Mr. Njogu. Okay. Yeah. I can't hear you. Clarice Ajwang at, like that? That's correct? At gmail.com. And then I can BCC. I can BCC Mr. Njogu. Mr. Njogu, kindly give me your email. Like that. Njogu. Yeah, at gmail.com. Sorry, .com. Oh dear, sorry about that. I will have to repeat it. At gmail.com. Like that, yeah? Now, I want to explain something about these three. So I am sending this message to Fred. He's the recipient. He's the one I intend to write to. But I am going to CC Clarice, and I am going to BCC Michael. Now, CC, it's carbon copy. So Clarice will receive the same email that I have sent to Fred, mostly for information, just for information that I have communicated with Fred. Now, the person who I BCC will receive the same communication, but Fred will not see that I have sent it also to Michael Njogu. This is used a lot in offices, yeah? For example, let's say the principal sends you a warning letter. The principal can BCC the county education officer if there is need for that. You will receive your warning letter and you will not know that there is a blind copy. BCC is blind carbon copy. Yeah? You will not know there is a blind carbon copy that was sent to the education office. Now, subject. Subject is always very, very important. So maybe this is, let me just use the same thing of warning letter. So the subject should convey, somebody should see from the subject that what the email is really about. That is it, yeah? And then you put your message there. If it is official, of course, you try as much as possible to make it official by writing dear sir or madam. You know, emails are becoming actually official. But if you look at what is happening on my screen, it's already saying dear Fred. That is the compose, the artificial intelligence at work now, yeah? The automatic compose. I'm being suggested to. I'm writing to Fred at all, after all. So I can just say dear Fred. So to take the suggestion, you just do the tab key on your keyboard, yeah? And then you continue. Then I can say maybe something like, thank you for your communication. You see, it's already suggesting, thank you for your email. If you like the suggestion, press on tab and move on, yeah, like that. Now, maybe I have finished with the body of the letter and I now want to sign out. I can come and add my signature. Remember, there was a signature that I had put somewhere. So I can come down here and add my signature. I take the one of B Kiarie and immediately it will add what? It will add my badge, my level 2 certification badge there as my signature. I'm sure you have received emails from organizations and you see text that remains more or less the same down here, yeah? That is coming from the signature settings. Now, let me look at these settings that are down here. This we already saw they were in the settings of your email account where you have a few fonts. Emails are usually taken as official communication. The fonts are very few. Some fonts are not really good, like Comic Sans. If you want to send a very official email, please do not use this kind of font, yeah? That is Comic Sans, this one that I have chosen here. This one. Some are not official, so better to remain with serifs and sans serif. Sans serif means without tails, and the characters that can tell you that a font is without tails are Y, G, I think letter A also to some extent, yeah? And then serif is with tails, the fonts that have tails, yeah? Then a few other fonts there. This bar here can be switched on and off using the A. Yeah, so now I've switched it off. Then you can have an attachment to a file. You can attach a link to something either in your drive or wherever. You can add emojis. There are a few emojis that you can use in email. For example, here it says search emojis. I can just take the first one there. Yeah. Is it in here? It's there, it has inserted. Then I can insert files from my drive. That one is very, very important because you have many files in your drive that you may want to attach to an email. I will not wait for it to open because of time. Time is really going. I can insert a photo from the computer itself or from my drive. And then once the photos appear here, you just choose the one that you really want to use. This one is opening faster, so I can wait for it. So I think this will be a newspaper article or something. So I can take this one and I just say insert. That will be a newspaper article that I have attached. Then I can, this one is very important. I can turn on or off confidential mode. Yeah. If I click there, it brings this confidential mode. And for official communication, this may be very useful. So you can send a message that expires in a week or in a day or in a month, depending. If it's extremely sensitive, you can make it expire in a day. Call the person and tell them to read the message by the end of that day. So let's make this one expire by the end of the day today. By the end of the day, by the end of 24 hours from now, from the time I have sent it, yeah, it will expire. And then you can actually require it to be opened using an SMS passcode. You can set a password to that particular email, yeah? And then you will need to communicate the password to the person who is going to receive the email. Otherwise, they will not be able to read it, yeah? So mine, I will say no SMS passcode. If I say SMS passcode, it will generate the code and then I will have to communicate the code to the recipient of the email. And then I save. Once I save that, this content will expire, yeah? By tomorrow, it will be expired. Then I have put signature. Maybe what I haven't quite put is a link. I can put a link to more or less anything, from a web address to something that is in my drive. You can create a link for it and come and paste it here. Yeah. And then the person on the other end will click there and be directed to where the link takes them. Then, before even I send my message, there are other things that could be useful. I can have been working at night, and so I might want to schedule my email instead of sending it. But the moment I did the confidential mode, it did away with my scheduling. I don't know whether you noticed that, yeah? I can schedule an email. Let's say I was working in the middle of the night and I want this email to look like I sent it in the morning. If you just come here to the send button, there will be an option for rescheduling. Let me remove this so that we have it back. You see this point here, this arrow. It had been, the idea of scheduling had been removed by the idea of sending a message that has an expiry. So I can schedule this message to be sent tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning, whenever, yeah, whenever I want to, and I can even set the time, the time zone, yeah, that I want to operate from. So I'll say tomorrow morning, and then it's scheduled. Yeah, scheduling sent over here. It says scheduling sent. So these are the 10 seconds that I set, yeah? So I can cancel. It's canceling sent. So if it cancels sent, then that will be under my drafts. That email that I was writing just now will be under my drafts folder somewhere over here once it finishes scheduling. So that is more or less about composing emails. Let's see whether my email will be in drafts. This one. Yeah, so it's here. It's still in draft. Okay. And then I can schedule it again. I can send it. So let me just go back to it a bit, because I haven't talked about these things towards the end over here. I can trash it. I can decide I don't want to send this, and so I send it to trash. I just delete it. And I can also come to these 3 dots here and set a number of things. Yeah, I can set my default send screen to full screen. I can make it a template. Yeah, templates are good for official work when you are communicating with many people. So let's say Fred is a parent in my school, I am the principal, and there is a way I usually start the letters that go to parents, yeah? So here it will be, instead of dear Fred, it will be dear parents, yeah? And then I will say, maybe during this time, I will say, maybe I always thank them for their support. Let's say I'm the principal. Thank you for your support in these days and always, etc, etc, yeah? And maybe I always sign off using that particular signature. Maybe I want to be sending them this particular newsletter, you know, something like that. Then I will just come here and go to templates and then save draft as template. Yeah, save draft as template, and then I will save it as a new template like that. So this one I can call it parents template. Parents template. Every time I come to compose my email, if I click on save there, yeah, every time I go to compose my email, that template will always be there. Maybe we can check that out. So yeah, let me send people this email so that they receive, yeah? So it's sending. Unfortunately, if you put too much time here, like 30 seconds, it means that you will have to be waiting for 30 seconds without doing anything until, that email goes, yeah? Now let's go back to compose and see whether our parents template will be there. So once I come here to my compose dialog box, I can choose the parents template. Taking a bit of time to load. I can choose to operate from the parents template by going to templates, just down here, the same way I did when I was composing it, yeah, to pick it up, and then I continue composing from there. So I come over here, go to templates, it's still looking for them, still loading there, and then it's loading templates. So once it loads templates, I can choose parents template and insert it. So this way, whenever I'm writing to parents, I don't have to start drafting emails from scratch. There is a standard template that I can put there for writing to parents. You can do a template for writing to your colleagues. You can do a template whenever you want to write to your family. I don't know whether that is possible, yeah? But emails should always be personalized. Don't do a template for everything also. Okay. Yeah. So that is sending emails and creating templates. Maybe I can actually ask whether you have any questions. Do you have any questions?